What it do, being crew? It's your boy Savon Thomas back with another episode of Coffee with Friends. Today we are recapping season 3 of Game of Thrones. We had a brief hiatus with this crew on the Game of Thrones seasons. I know season 2 came out, I think, like October or maybe even September. And then life happened between all of us, so we got a little sidetracked. But we are back recapping season 3, and we'll keep going through the seasons until we get to the ending, which I'm sure you guys are excited about. We have our crew here, a little bit different streaming platform we're on as well. So we're getting used to it. I'm getting used to it. I'm not using my usual phone setup because I don't know what's going on there. But yeah, guys, how's everybody? Who wants to kind of talk about what's been up since the last time we did one of these?
Ladies first.
Sure. Yeah, not too much has changed. Just still working since the new year, got some new goals going on and working hard towards those and just like being better this year. And that's really it. Getting closer to God and all. So, yep.
Amen. Who's next?
Go ahead, B White.
Youngest. You got to go in young order.
For beauty, B White. For beauty.
Oh, okay. That's what that is. All right. Well, anyway, then I should go twice. One for age and one for beauty. All right. So,
Free.
B White here, man. Look, things have been great. Since we last had one of these episode recaps. Things are progressing, man. Life is good. I'm still breathing, still alive. Got a job to pay the bills, but got things going on outside of that to just kind of elevate my life and myself and set things up for my daughter. Working on one thing I'm really, really excited about, and this ain't really a promo, but it's a promo. I'm putting together a Father's Vision Casting Leadership Conference that's going to be happening here in February. So I'm really excited about that. Helping some fathers plan their lives a little bit better with their children and really focus on creating a vision for their life with their children and teaching their children how to, create vision and start working toward goals. So really excited about that. That's all I got.
That's awesome, man. What made you choose to do that? Like, why?
Well, man, as you know, I'm big on fatherhood and have partnerships with when I say partnerships, I mean just good friendships with some other single dads, especially men who are fathers of little girls. And man, it's just been on my heart. I've been reading more about becoming and working on being a better father. Just reading some stories, reading a book by Etan Thomas, former basketball player, and then Daily Meditations on Fatherhood by Ryan something. I forget his name, but I don't know, man. I just want to do things to help me become better as a father, and then also to help other fathers, especially young fathers, new fathers, just get better at being the best version of themselves for their kids, but also teaching their kids how to be the best version of themselves. And one of those things is, I think it's always important to have a vision. You know what I mean? And I think when we think about that, we think about it from the standpoint of, our career goals, especially as fathers, we think about our career goals and having a vision for that, but not like having a vision for our relationship with our kids and teaching them how to create vision. So that's what inspired me, man.
But that's awesome, man. E-Man, any updates on life, man? How things been going?
Not a lot has changed. Not a lot has changed. The main thing that's changed, I'm taking more responsibility at work. It hasn't that's more pay yet, but we'll get there eventually.
Nice.
We are managing double the inventory that I was before.
So
it's bringing new challenges. I'm learning new things, and I'm just in the process of learning everything that the position comes with. It's been fun.
Awesome, man. Did anybody do anything fun for New Year's Eve, New Year's, anything?
Oh, absolutely. New Year's Eve was great. My team and I, which all of y'all are part of, we put together this great, this awesome, this fun murder mystery ball where people got together and they had to have kind of like one of those moments where you have a whodunit. You got to guess who killed somebody. So there was a murder in town, and man, it was great. It was awesome. I had a lot of fun hosting it, and the guests and the team members had a lot of fun participating in something different than we've ever done as a business team and as friends. And man, everybody enjoyed it, and we're looking forward to doing something like that or similar in the future.
Yeah, so I was there with P. White. I was one of the people trying to figure out who did it. Interestingly enough, I figured it out in the first round. But after the third round, I chose somebody else, so I got it wrong.
That's funny.
So
That's crazy. I didn't know that.
yeah, like the person who did it, I was like, it was you, but that was just because I was just goofing around.
Mm.
Turns out it was him, and I chose the wrong person. But yeah, I had a good time. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
So I was not there, sadly. I just did a game night with my friends on New Year's Eve. We tried to go somewhere, but we missed the countdown and did the countdown in the car. And we were like, okay, this is not worth it. And so, and then the next day, watched the UT game with some other friends. So that was good.
Nice. Yeah, the UT game was very good for me as a OU fan.
Yeah, I'm sure.
That they lost. I was very appreciative of that. Thank you. That's awesome. Sounds like you guys had a fun New Year's Eve. New Year's resolutions.
Hold on. What did you do for New Year's Eve?
The Bean Crew knows what stuff I did, man. I've revealed it in other videos, but let's talk about it. So for New Year's Eve, myself, I went to Vegas. Had some fun out in Vegas. Lost some money playing roulette. That was on the 31st because my New Year's resolution is to go to 0 casinos and spend $0 on gambling or anything like that because we had a lot of fun in 2023. 2024, we're cutting it out. So no sports gambling, no casino gambling, none of that. Not even like poker with the team gambling, like none. We cut it all out. We just gotta enjoy life. We don't gotta waste money. You know, we're being more fruitful. You know, God's given us resources that don't need to go towards gambling, but towards building His kingdom. So that's kind of where I'm at right now. But 31st, gambled. Lost money, thought I'd win, but I didn't. First, second, I was in Vegas as well. Ate some good food, watched some shows. Had a good time. Watched UT lose. Fantastic.
Wow. You should have set that resolution for after you left Vegas. But
I didn't gamble on the first or second.
I know. That's good though. That's a good job. I would have said it for after I left Vegas.
No, I lost enough money on the 31st where I was like, yeah, this makes sense for me not to gamble anymore. So God was like, yeah, this is you need to stop. And I was like, you gotta tell me twice, especially about money. So, but my New Year's was good. But anybody have New Year's resolutions? And we are 21 days into the new year. If you do, how close have you stuck to those, or are they gone already?
So I didn't set any for that exact reason. I was like, I'm not gonna let myself down again. I'm just not gonna do it.
I didn't really set any consciously. I mean, I just set the goal to make this vision casting event happen. Right now, I'm taking it, moment by moment, because I'm like, I got some of the same goals that I had that I still need to work on and accomplishing because they were, set for, sometime this year, like in March, really. So, nothing new. Just working on being a better version of myself. Something my grandmother used to always pray nightly about is just make me a better person than I was today. So just working on making sure I'm better and better each day. No resolutions, really.
Yeah, same here. No real resolutions, but I did join you on your $100 in a year challenge. Right now I'm on book 4, Grace is Greater. I'll have that finished by tomorrow, and then start book 5 and 6 tomorrow too.
Nice. Yeah, I'm on book 5. So, but what's crazy is like the last book I read, short, like physical book. I have audio books in there too. So we have a 100-book challenge right now, audio books and physical books. Last book I read was 50 pages. This book I'm reading right now, 260. Mm-hmm. Next one, 230. I'm like, sheesh. Like, can we get like a 150? Like that's a good amount of info in a book. 150, 200 is kind of like pushing it. Past 200, this, and it's, if it's not a storybook, what are we doing? Like, because I read self-help books. I know a lot of like girlies out there are into like the romance book. A lot of guys maybe reading like fiction novels, stuff like that. So they want to read to like, imagination, use their mind. I read to get better and better myself, and just get ideas and ways to be better in my job and my faith walk and things like that. And so like all these books I'm reading, I'm like, this didn't need to be 260. Like 150 to 200 is a good, solid book. 200 plus, you're just writing to write at this point. Like, what's the extra? Like, there's too much. There's too much content. Like,
yeah, I agree.
Yep.
So, but page size does make a difference. Some of these books are like this thick and 260. It's like if you're gonna make a book like short 260, different. This tall 260 with no photos or anything inside there, you're right. You're writing a school book. Like, it's crazy. But
That's real.
Yeah.
That's real.
anyways, well, I appreciate updates, guys. For me, I mean, again, I kind of like stick away from me talking about my updates because the Beam crew hears about it all the time. So this is like, for me, I'm always sharing to these guys about stuff that I'm doing. So this is more for you guys to talk to them. But for me, I mean, updates. New Year was fantastic. Excited for this upcoming year. 2024 should be fun. We got some good ideas with content. More of this type content coming out in the new year as well for more movies. I am moving away from producing like 7-season episode content because that's a lot to commit to, as we've seen. We're on season 3. But I do want to do like one-off seasons, like one season reviews, movie reviews, but in the Coffee and Friends format. I'll still do my own like Coffee and Comments reviews, but I'm seeing more people wanting more people talking. Like, as much as they love me, they love you guys too. In fact, I posted on my story. This was there was two Game of Thrones episodes were number 2 and number 3 of my most watched YouTube videos, right? And had like a couple thousand views, right? Which is pretty cool. So number 1's Gilmore Girls. I guess that's undefeated. But number 2 and 3 were our Game of Thrones seasons. So I'm excited about this season. So we kind of transition into season 3. We all watched it long ago, so forgive if this is not the most accurate recap possible, but I did watch like a 5-minute YouTube video to kind of get some ideas of everything that happened. I think you guys probably did the exact same thing as well. So I want to start with just characters because we can go episode by episode, but it wasn't too much to happen in the very beginning in my mind. Like, I wrote down for the first 2 episodes some like key moments. Really, I mean, episode 1, Daenerys and Astapor seeking an army, so looking for the Unsullied, meets the Unsullied. So we get to meet the Unsullied army, right? You see Daenerys kind of like her arc starting to begin, right? You saw her season 1, take over, and then now in season 2, she the whole dragon situation, and then now she's kind of like starting to build her army, because like as Brendan feels, she's going to take over as queen, right? So you see that. Jon Snow's captured, which I want to talk about Jon Snow because he pisses me off through the first 3 seasons. Tywin takes over as Hand of the King, so we get to see more of Tywin this season, and really get to see him rule. Stannis is still recovering from losing the battle. He's kind of distraught. Him and the Red Woman are just, I don't even know what to call them. Tyrion's amazed he's alive.
They're toxic.
Yeah. And then Bran, right? Bran he has his arc and Arya has her arc, right? And then Robb, obviously. So there's a lot to talk about here. Those are like the key moments from the first episode, but it really sets up this season and things going on. But we'll start with like some major characters and talk about them. I want to save Robb Stark to the end, and you guys all know why. Like, we'll get to the Red Wedding. Like, we'll talk about that. R.I.P. my boy. But let's start with just like some characters like Jon Snow, right? So what were you guys' thoughts on Jon Snow season 3? I can give a recap of things that happened, but what were your overall thoughts on Jon Snow? Anything that he did that hurt you guys? He felt different? Like, what are your thoughts?
I still stick by that he doesn't know what loyalty means. Like, he's just anywhere and everywhere as long as he can stay alive.
I don't know. I feel like in this season, he's showing loyalty to the men of the wall, right? You know what I'm saying? Like, I think it was all just part of his plan. Like, he already knew it was part of the plan. So he was loyal to the men on the wall. You know what I'm saying? The Night Watch, and like he played at like what you call it? He was kind of like a spy, and he played it well. You know what I mean? And then we see him get to this point where he shows like I was always dedicated to this cause. You know what I'm saying? To the point where he, and I can understand your point of disloyalty here, where he betrayed love in a sense. You know what I'm saying? Someone that he kind of snared into his web of love, but not deceit.
No, I mean I can agree with what Tierra is saying because he didn't like it. To my again recollection is kind of hazy, but to my recollection, he didn't know he was going back to the wall, right? Like he just knew that he was going to have to join the Wildlings. Like he fell in love with what's her name? I'm blanking on her name.
Ingrid.
Yeah, Ingrid.
Ingrid.
I absolutely love Ingrid. She is one of my favorite characters because she's just so witty, right? And then her tagline of "You know nothing, Jon Snow." It's just perfect. Like it's the little things in the show. You're just like, you know nothing, Jon Snow. But no, so I agree with what you're saying. But Jon Snow, like he is wishy-washy. I definitely agree with that because he got captured, right? So first he didn't know what the hell he wants to do with his life, and then he goes to the wall, right? And he's like, okay, I'm gonna go to the wall, and then goes north, and then can't kill Ingrid, and then now he needs to survive, so he joins the Wildlings. But then he realizes like they are the free people. He calls them the free people. They're all these different like tribes combined together. Mm-hmm. You have the giants. You have all these different people, and he embraces their lifestyle, right? Like this, like it's not in my opinion, it's not like they don't. He embraces like there's not a point where he's like I don't want to do this, but it wasn't until they do get to because he climbed the wall. He did everything trying to prove himself as a wildling. It wasn't until they started trying to kill that old man that Jon's honor was like, I can't just kill this man for no reason and rob him for no reason. Mm-hmm. And I think that's really when he traded back because he knew they were going to kill him if he didn't kill this old man, but he has too much honor, like his dad, to kill him. So he's like, I'm going back to the wall. So I agree, wishy-washy. That's my opinion.
Yeah, I agree on that, like, you know nothing thing, because, like, going back to all of his decisions, like, it's not really based on anything. Like basically what he's seeing, and then he's reacting and responding to his situation rather than, like, thinking through things, which is why I think he kind of comes off wishy-washy.
Y'all really don't think that it was planned? Like, think of these little subtle moments, like when the ward was asking him about how many people are on the wall, how many men are there, like what are we dealing with? Like he was telling them, but you could tell, like just, and I don't know, maybe this is me because I look for these kind of things as an actor, but there was just like this look on his face where you could see, he had to make a decision, do I be honest or do I lie, because they're going to catch me in a lie. So, he played that part. And then we got to that point where, they were about to go, and he told Ingrid, he's like, y'all are going to die. You're going to lose this. You cannot win this. Because he already knew what was up. I feel like he was playing them the whole time. I don't think he was being like, trying to figure it out. I think because think about it. Remember that moment where, I don't remember the other character's name, but Jon had gotten captured, but there was an older guy from the wall that gotten captured too. And he and Jon ended up fighting. And somewhere in there, the guy was like, you know what you're going to have to do. You know what I mean? So he had to kill him so that he would kind of prove himself to the wildlings. And I think in that conversation, they were talking about like, this is what you got to do to get back to, to the wall, and your honor is still to the wall. You know what I mean? And to protect the wall. Like I think this is just my opinion. I think he became decisive in that moment, and he had a mission, and he stuck to it, and he played it. He was a freaking spy.
I don't know, B.Y., because whenever he told Ingrid, you guys are going to lose, is that him caring for the wildlings? Because, like, if you're going to set them up, you wouldn't try to stop them. You'll try to, like, all right, let's go,
I think he didn't want her to go. He didn't want her to go. That was about her. He didn't want her to go. And he was hoping that, if he tells her, look, y'all are going to lose this. Like, you can't win this, that she would stick with him and run away with him and let them do their thing. Yeah. But I think he was he knew what was already coming, and he didn't care about them. He cared about her.
That's true. He did love Ingrid a lot. Like his love for Ingrid it's strong, right? Can we get a round of applause for my boy Jon Snow losing his virginity? Like, like let's
absolutely.
All right, like
and he did that thing with his tongue that she was impressed. She was really impressed.
Right, I know. I was like, there you go, Jon Snow. Wait, my boy, right? Like he did nothing.
Which is also not loyal because he took a vow.
He did take a vow. See?
Yeah, no. but see, here's the thing. I'm telling you, this is why it's also like he was a spy. He's a plant. Because think about other spy movies. Sometimes you just got to do what you got to do to play the part. Think about decover all those, inside job, inside man kind of things you got to do. Sometimes you have to break your loyalty or your oath for the bigger purpose and a bigger mission. I think that's what he was doing.
There was no bigger mission. He just wanted some pum pum. That was all that was.
I say that too. And he liked Ingrid too.
Right. There was nothing more to that besides
he loved
wanting to do that. So
yeah.
But yeah, I mean, again, that's why like through 3 seasons, what has Jon Snow done? Like that's my biggest. I made a video about this when I first watched the series, because he pissed me off. I'm like, I heard so much about Jon Snow. Because it's the show, like, if you ever, but like, I'm like, through 3 seasons, he's gone to the wall, went north of the wall, got captured, went back to the wall. That's Jon Snow's character arc in 3 seasons. You disagree with that, Brendan? I know it's your guy, but like,
no,
what has he done?
I mean, I disagree because I think that this is what he did. This was part of him. Like this part of his story. That was part of his character. That was part of, like, he played that mission. I swear to God, I think it was all calculated, and he was just like playing a part. And there's a thing that his love for Ingrid posed a conflict. Now it was instead of him versus man, the external man, he had to deal with this internal conflict of, I'm committed to my oath and my vow, but I also love this woman. You know what I mean? And like now there's a struggle. So you see internal conflict going on with him. He has to make these decisions, stay committed to the course of action, to the mission. But at the same time, he found this woman who's captured his heart, and he don't want to lose her. But in the end, at least in this season, he did. So
yeah. What do you guys think about the people? What do you guys think about what are they called? What are the people at the wall? What are they? The
wildlings?
Nice Watch. No. The men of the Nice Watch. What do you think about them killing Craster? Were they justified in killing Craster?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. Yes, I agree.
Oh yeah.
He deserves to die.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was waiting for it. I knew. I was like, bro, this dude. Why are you guys taking like flack from this guy? Like, I never understood that. Like I would have been like, hell yeah, we're killing this dude. Like, you're gonna house this in your house. Like, you're not gonna sit this outside. Yeah, it's just that dude was so weird. But I think it's funny that Sam. I love Sam too. Like, he was like, I'm taking this girl and her baby and getting up out of here. This is my, like, he's basically claimed her as like his own girlfriend. Even though he's not supposed to have one because he's in the Men of the Nice Watch.
Yeah.
But,
yeah.
Hey, but Sam did kill White Walker.
He did.
He did kill a White Walker.
Which that whole thing is interesting too. Like where the White Walkers come into play in this situation, because they've shown up now. Like, you see the big army, But then we just seen like onesie twosies of White Walkers. You don't see like more than one typically.
Mm-hmm.
So, but the way he kills them is important. So remember that, Brendan, for future seasons.
Okay.
Yeah. So,
Yep.
But cool. So that's Jon Snow. I mean, the middle of the Night's Watch. Really, I mean, in my opinion, boring. Other than the love between Ingrid and him, kind of boring. In my opinion, because the main part of the show is Daenerys and the battle of the, what is it called, the War of the Five Kings, with Robb Stark and Tywin Lannister. But it's interesting to see like Arya too. So there's like these like little character pieces that pop up. Arya's character, she's just trying to like thug it out and survive, right? She's just going everywhere she can, thugging it out, trying to find some semblance of family. She meets, what was that, the Brotherhood of Banner. She gets outed by the Hound. Now she's with the Hound. They meet a guy that dies. There's an interesting plot arc with Arya where it's like she just has her own thing she's trying to do, is like find family. Like, I don't know. I feel like Arya's journey is very interesting because she doesn't know where she needs to go until the very end of the season, where she's like, I'm gonna go to Bravos because she has that coin, right? But thoughts on Arya this season? Do you guys feel like she played a big part, small part? What are your thoughts? Because that was my thoughts about Arya this season. That's literally was like, what is this girl doing? Where's she going? And also, she does see the ending. I guess we should talk about Robb too. But thoughts on Arya? We can get Robb out the way. So let's talk on Arya first.
Yeah, I'll let somebody go first.
I honestly love Arya. I think she's one of the bravest people in this whole show. She's just ready to square up with anybody, to be honest. But I agree. She's just kind of like, they have her in a lot of like random little like tiffs and spats and stuff until she finally goes to the Hound. So it's like, at this point, not knowing, you're just like, well, like kind of what's gonna happen to her. Like, but I think that's kind of a good story to have in all of this, because it's like, oh well, what's going on with her? Like, there's this whole other prominent child to this prominent family that is, no one knows where she is.
Yeah,
I think Arya probably has the hardest, is going through the most right now, because she saw Ned die. She's in the middle of nowhere with people she barely met, and now she's with the Hound, who isn't the friendliest person.
Mm-hmm.
And so she's in the middle of nowhere. What's it called? I think it was season 2 where they caught up to where the Lannister men caught up to them and killed everyone. So she's seen a lot of death compared to, for a, what is she, like 12-year-old girl or something? For however old she is. Yeah, it's interesting. And she was smart enough to keep the coin and say, "Hey, I'm going to Bravos." So definitely very.
I think that was this season. By the way, let me not ruin that.
Yeah.
Did she say she was at the end of the season, right? Or was that season 4?
I don't remember. I'm just going off.
I think that's season 4.
Okay.
I think that's season 4 because I don't remember that.
Well, there you go. Well, now you know, Brendan, that she goes to Bravos or something.
Yeah.
That doesn't really ruin much, but there you go.
Don't ruin much. But I was like, I don't remember no coin in Bravos.
I thought that was season 3, season 4. Again, all this stuff is hazy. But yeah, so that to that point, and unless Brendan has something to say, I think he does.
Yeah, of course I do.
She sees her dad die, get beheaded. Then she sees her brother also have a freaking wolf head on his beheaded body. Like, imagine the trauma. Like,
that made me sick.
Imagine the trauma of seeing your brother, not like your dad got beheaded, your brother got beheaded. Right? That's crazy. Anyways, go ahead, Brendan.
A lot of trauma. I mean, like, so y'all know she's one of my favorite characters too, for the same reason that you said, Tiara. Like, she will square up with anybody. She has so much courage and so much heart. You know what I mean? She doesn't give a rip. She don't give a fuck about what nobody, how old you are, how big you are. And I like this, just thinking from an actor standpoint. Like, this actress, I forget her name, but she plays her objectives so well. That's one of the things we talk about in acting, is plan the objective. Her objective is to get home, to get to her family, and everything she does, is for that reason. And when she gets conflict that comes her way, she's gonna figure it out. She's gonna fight it, whatever, to get to her goal, to get home and get back to her family. And I think it's I think it's interesting that we're seeing her like she has all these little tits and tats and meets all these interesting characters and ends up back in a place, you know, in the hands of someone who like she despises. Like she despises the Hound, you know, because he killed her friend, right? And amongst other things, right? And so, but now she's in a place where she has to rely on him. She wants to kill him, but she can't. She needs it. And so it puts her in a quandary. And then she gets to this point where he's trying to take her, you know, back to her family. And she gets there, and like you said, now she sees that she can't even go there, and she doesn't even know about her mom. She doesn't even know about her mom. But she sees Rod's body with the wolf head on it, but she doesn't even know about her mama.
Yep.
And that's crazy. Like she's going. Like I also feel like they're building her for when she gets older and she's ready to take over the throne. Like I'm so excited and so interested about seeing her, like her final place in her journey, like where she ends up.
Gotcha. The actress, by the way, is Maisie Williams. That's her
Maisie,
name.
what?
Maisie Williams, and so
Oh, yeah.
she's
dope.
she's a really good actress. But the weird thing is she hasn't really been in anything like big since this, and I think a lot of actors and actresses get stuck when they get into shows like this,
Mm-hmm.
where they can't really play anything else because that's what people see. That like Kit Harington, he's been in a few different things, but like when you see him, you think Jon Snow, right? There's not much you can think else besides, oh, that's John, like Harry Potter, right? Like Daniel Radcliffe will forever be Harry Potter.
Mm-hmm.
And
I mean, especially as if you're a child actor and a child star, and you like to be on, you know, a show that ran this long. Like, yeah, you're growing up, you know, because I mean now she's probably what, I don't know, teenager, young adult. So you grew up on this show, and that's all people have seen you do. So yeah, it's gonna pose a challenge for you to be known as someone else, you know, in other roles, especially if you're good, like she is. It's gonna be hard for people to see you as somebody else.
yeah, she was born in '97.
Yeah.
So she's 26. She's 26. So she got this part in 2011. That's for the first season. She was 2011. So she was, what is that? 14 years old.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So in this season, she's probably 17. But she looks younger, obviously. Like
Yes.
Hollywood, you're older, but you play younger, right? Like 30-year-old people play high schoolers, right?
Yeah.
So, but yeah, so Arya's situation is crazy, seeing her brother. But let's, you know, I was kind of prolonging the point, but let's get to Robb. Like that's what season 3 is about, is Robb Stark, and that's the entire season. Don't get me wrong, that's just the entire season. Like I wrote down, I was like, outside of Robb death and how everything like kind of went, there wasn't really much to this season. Like there's nothing, anything I was like, oh yeah, this is a point that needs, like, it was just like, what is going on? Like you don't really see much going, you know, with season 3 other than Robb's situation. And so here's what I wrote down as the fall of Robb Stark, because here, my opinion, and we talked about this before, Catelyn Stark is the biggest villain of this show. I didn't realize it the first time I watched it, but we were watching and talking about it. Catelyn Stark started all this. She started the war. She's the reason why her son got killed and herself got killed, honestly. So Catelyn released Jaime, right? She released Jaime, sent Jaime with, what was it, Brienne of Tarth, which that was crazy that Jaime got his hand cut off. It's like, or, you know, like
yeah, like we got to talk about that too. So like,
okay, go ahead. Go. What are you going to say?
I mean, like that was just crazy. Like, I mean, I thought there's some stuff going on in this season. I was like, yo, whoa! I thought dude was really gonna fall for it and take him back to his dad because he knew his dad. And like, I mean, Jaime played it up. Hey, my father has this. He'll do this. He can give you this. You want this. You want that. And I really thought, oh boy, fell for the okie doke. You know what I mean? And then he turns around and says, boom, now you say something else about your daddy, I'll cut your other hand off. What? It was crazy, you know, and I don't know, Jaime's journey, like it gets to a point where, you know, you see a bit of humility in him, I think. You know what I mean? Because
Yeah.
now he gets this, that's his fighting hand. You know what I'm saying? That's his bread and butter. And so he's humbled a little bit, you know what I mean? And I think he realizes how much he owes to Brienne of Tar, but also so does she. She realizes how much, she owed him, and like they needed each other while they were there. And it was crazy. Like he went back for her. He went back for her. That was I was like, okay, they built a little love story between between Jamie and the giant Amazon butch looking woman. But I'm interested in seeing where that goes because I felt like there was something there.
Have you ever
Yeah.
watched Ted Lasso?
Mm-mm.
Has anybody here watched Ted Lasso?
No.
Oh, okay. Well, that's the same. Brienne of Tarth is also the manager of the football club Ted Lasso is a coach at. So she's a major player in Ted Lasso.
Okay.
No, take the back. No, it's not Brienne of Tarth. It's another. Anyways, different. It's another lady that's in Game of Thrones. So I messed that up.
Okay.
But they're both large women. But yeah, so Jamie, I do think Jamie gets humbled like by losing his hand for sure, because like he has all his ego and bravasti from like being the sword, right? Like he's known for being a good swordsman. Now he's also known for being the Kingslayer for stabbing the king in
Yeah.
the back, but he is known throughout. Like when he fought Ned Stark, it was because it was like the best two swords
Yeah.
in the kingdoms, basically going head to head. But how'd y'all feel? So you talked about love story between Bran of Tarth. Am I glitching by the way, or am I good?
No, you good.
Good.
He talked about love story between Bran of Tarth and Jamie. Did y'all feel like weird when Jamie shows back up into the kingdom and he's like staring lovingly at his sister?
Yep.
Like it's so weird. They play this like she's always thinking about Jamie. Jamie's thinking like trying to get back to Cersei, and it's just like, but that's your sister, brother. Like,
Yeah.
like,
And like when she turned,
you can get lost in that, like you get
Yeah.
lost in like, oh, they love each other so much. They're brother and sister.
Yeah. And when she turned around and saw him, and she's like, you could see like the relief and the love there. Like, I'm like, ew, like, what are you doing? That's disgusting. But
Yeah.
bro, it was crazy. It was weird though, because you could see that it was palpable, that tension. Just that he comes in, he stands there for a moment, looks at her, and then he's like, I think he says sis or something like that, and she turns around and sees him, like no hand missing and everything, but you can still see, like he looks beat up, he's looking trashy, but you can still see in her eyes that love for him, and not like, oh, it's my brother, love.
Yep.
It's like it's my brother who been breaking my back, love.
It's disgusting because they play it so well, and
Oh
like
my gosh.
like you're saying, not even verbally, but like the cues, the looks, you feel the energy, and you're like, there should not be this energy here. This is disgusting.
Yep.
For
They
sure.
play it very well.
For sure. So that's Jamie and Bran of Tarth is interesting, like you talked about. But even the journey is kind of like, again, it's just a side quest, like a side story. But
Yeah.
it did play a big part in the downfall of Robb Stark because I wrote that down. If the mother Catelyn didn't release Jamie, then Karstark wouldn't have been mad, so he wouldn't have lost half of his men. But also, the reason why that Robb died was because of that meeting between Jamie and Roose Bolton. Right? I don't know if you guys caught that, but because he got captured, lost his hand, right? But the men that captured them were Roose Bolton's men.
Mhm.
And so Roose had a meeting with Jamie, and what they discussed was, or what they contracted with Tywin, was that Roose is going to be Warden of the North and take over the North as long as he gives Robb Stark they kill Robb Stark, right?
Yeah.
And so Roose works with Walder Frey to kill Robb Stark because Walder Frey has a grudge against Robb Stark because he didn't marry his daughter. So like, two situations. If she had released them, Karstark wouldn't have died, so you still would have had all the men. And you wouldn't even needed to go to Walder Frey.
Mm-hmm.
And then two, Jaime would never been able to talk to Roose Bolton to get him to turn.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's crazy.
She did a whole lot. Yeah, she screwed up a whole lot. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Just by letting Jaime go. Like that was the downfall. You know.
Because she wanted to get her daughters back, but it didn't get her daughters. Like, it's so dumb. Like, the reason behind it is because her kids are in captivity, and she wants to get them back. And like the love of a mother, I don't know. She just went crazy. Like, that's so wild to me.
And going back to season 1, she's the reason they're in captivity in the first place.
In the first place. All because she wanted revenge because her son got pushed out of a window, which I get it. I mean, that's, your son got pushed out of a window. I can understand that. But, like, just she does not make the rational decisions. Like, she does not, like.
Oh, no, she's very emotional. Yeah.
So emotional.
Yeah. All of her decisions are based on emotions. Like, yeah, I mean, and like you said, I get it. As a mother, you find out your son got pushed out the window by, these people. Like, yeah, you're going to want revenge. Emotional decision, right?
Mm-hmm.
Then you lose your girls. You know what I'm saying? Your husband has been beheaded. Your girls one of them is, who knows where from your perspective, and the other is, in this kingdom with this trash little boy king and his trashy mother. You know what I mean? Who are your enemies, who you want to kill, and you're like, okay, I got to get them back. So yeah, you make these emotional decisions. You don't listen to your son, who you watch, and you kind of encourage the men in your town to make him king. You know what I'm saying? They all chose Robb to be king. Now he's your king, and you're like still making these backhanded decisions that put him in a position, like completely emotional, like stupid decisions that got y'all all caught up and killed.
Yeah, I don't think she should have been in the camp at all. Like, I think they should have sent her somewhere else in the first place. Like, she's like claiming, oh, like, I'm a mom, you guys just don't know, like, I have a feeling, blah blah blah, but you've never been to war, so like, how are you gonna really know what's a power play and like what's gonna set y'all back?
So I'm saying, like, how can we advance the patriarchy when the woman's here?
Right. Real tough.
No. So yeah. So that's where we're down. Like, his mother released Jaime, pissed off Karstark. Karstark kills Lannister kids, which forces Robb's hand. Right. Like, he kills the kids. Robb's like, I gotta punish this dude, and then he's like, you ain't gonna do shit to me. Like, you didn't do nothing to Jaime, so you ain't gonna do nothing to me. And he's like spitting like that. That sucked for him because like you have to, like, I have to make a show out of you now. Like, you couldn't have just like left it alone. He was gonna send him away or do something, but you have to make it a show. Mm-hmm. And now I gotta kill you. And I understand the decision to kill him, but that was a big blow because he lost half his army, right?
Yeah.
And it's crazy. So I'm curious on y'all's thoughts. If you were Robb, would you have married Talisa as well?
Married the one that he married?
Yeah. If you were Robb, would you have made the decision?
She'd probably had to be a side piece. You know what I mean? Just only because of this. But she's gonna be the main side piece. Here's why. Strategy. If you understand in that time, okay, this is a strategic move. For me to gain what I need, I have to marry this man's one of his daughters, right? Make her queen, yada yada yada. But I'm the king. We in, medieval times. I'm gonna be doing what the hell I want anyway. So you are my queen simply as show. So when we go out in the public and we have to present all the airs. You're right there, but my heart and my boo thing is really here, and I'm gonna let her know that. But she in the back strategically. I
mean,
would have made it. I would have made the wise strategic choice.
That's fair, but he on like also the reason why he married her because he wanted his lineage to go through her, right? Like he didn't want to have his lineage go through Frey, and also just he's a man, so he's making dumb decisions. But he wanted it to go through Talissa, right? So it's kind of like, hey, you can love her and marry her, like, you can love her and she be your side piece and everything like that. But every single kid you have with her is a bastard child, and they'll never get recognized as like any type of heir to the throne.
That's true.
So, but Tiara, email. I'm curious. I'm curious on your thoughts on Rob's decision to marry the girl.
I just feel like the Freys are too connected, and you knew they were too connected. Like that's not somebody you wanted to make an enemy, and I think he knew that from the start. But just like, thinking with something else, and so I think that led to a lot of the decisions he made surrounding her. But me personally, I probably Robert Baratheon didn't want to marry Cersei, but he knows how the Lannisters are. And so that was a power play for his kingdom move. Even though he was miserable, he still, had whoever he wanted, right? And got more because of his unity with the Lannisters. So I think it would have been that type of situation. But, new generation, new, feelings, I guess, new ways of doing things.
Nice.
Yeah, so strategically, it was a bad move. Definitely should have married the Frey girl, especially when you consider all his other alliances weren't working out the way he wanted them to. Like Renly died, Stannis wasn't going to help him. What's her name? Catelyn's sister wasn't going to help them.
Yeah.
So the only ally the only thing you had to do was marry his daughter, and you didn't do that. Kind of messed him up.
But yeah, so look, okay, and I just thought about this. That's Catelyn's fault too. She made that promise without consulting with him. Like, how you gonna promise me to somebody without talking to me? I'm the freaking king. Like, at least consult with me, mama. You know what I'm saying? Like, he just go betrothing him to somebody without talking to him. He's the damn king. Like, now I really, really, really hate Cat. I'm glad. I'm sort of sad. I was sad in the moment, but this is your own doing.
Yeah.
So, strategically, you would have made the decision to marry the Frey.
Yeah.
Okay.
So So y'all all three would have married the Frey girl.
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't have. Talissa was a baddie. I could.
She was.
I understand. I literally.
Hey,
she was a baddie.
But he's trying to win a war at the same time.
I get it.
That's right,
brother.
She'd have been my main side chick, bro.
When it comes to medieval poom poom, you have to. There's only. You don't know what else. The Frey girl is ugly. Like in your mind, Frey girl is ugly. This is a baddie in the middle of medieval war. You know what I mean?
And she was a little
it was crazy. So he killed Karstark, leaves his Baron Man, lost half his army, and then something Talissa said was they should go home, right? Like they should go home, and that's there was so many times in this show when he could have his trajectory could have not ended in him dying. But again, it's a TV show, drama. There's a purpose to every single thing that happens. But Talissa was she literally told Rob they should go home. After he lost half his army, they should go home. And so instead of returning home, he takes Casterly Rock, why nobody was there, needs more forces, goes to Walder Frey, and we get the Red Wedding, right? Which honestly, rewatching it, I wasn't as sad. But the first time I watched that, I was so distraught to the point where I couldn't start the next season for a while. I was like, what just happened? And it's literally, it's one of the in history one of the most shocking episodes in TV history, right? Like so many people have reactions to it. So I'm curious, Brandon, as a first time watcher, what was your reaction to seeing?
We talked about this. I was distraught too, bro. I was like, what the? And so when I first watched it, I watched it late at night, so I was dozing off. So I missed some stuff. I woke up and I'm like, I wake up and arrows are going and Rob is dead. And I'm like, what the hell happened? So I had to go back and then I watched it and I was like, are you freaking kidding me? I was like, no. Like they killed Rob and they killed Talissa. Like everything. I was like, oh my God.
Stab the baby.
Violently. Oh.
Stab the baby, bro. Like up close and personal. Like, bro, I was like, oh my gosh. I was hurt.
You know what's crazy too? They were going to name the baby Eddard Stark.
Yeah.
So Ned Stark died twice.
Twice. It's crazy.
Twice.
Yeah, bro. It was.
I was blown. I was like, how? I was like, why they kill off Rob so early? I was like, this is too early. Why?
Yeah.
Yep.
I felt the same way I felt when they killed off Ned. I was like, he's a star. Why you kill him off in the freaking first season? And episode 9 at that. It wasn't even a season finale.
Yeah. So I actually noted that too. In every single season so far, the biggest like storyline happens on episode 9. Like through 3 seasons so far. If you go back and look at season 1, episode 9, Ned gets beheaded. Season 2, episode 9, I forget what happens. And season 3, episode 9, Rob dies. So I don't remember, and this is not me like foreshadowing anything. I literally don't remember next 3 seasons, but I think it's like a pattern that they're doing. It's like season 9, because it leaves you on a cliffhanger. Then you get some like resolution, and in episode 10, they kind of build to the next season and like, okay, what happens next,
bro?
So I think it's like a show writer's thing that they do. Like it would suck to if that was the last season. How pissed off would you be if that was the last season of episode of the season?
I would, but yeah, okay, they do that. But I'd be distraught, and I would be mad because like now I gotta wait.
Yeah. Exactly. So like it gives you a little bit of a taste.
Yeah.
And then
like I kind of like it, but at the same time, I'm like, oh my gosh, that doesn't make sense. But you're right. It's like they give you some resolution here in the next episode and take you into what the next season is gonna be. But I'm like, it seems misplaced, but I get it because now that you say that, that's true. I think on episode 9 of season 2 is when we see Daenerys Targaryen in that.
No, it's the Battle of Blackwater. Battle of Blackwater, that's what it was.
Oh, yeah.
Blackwater.
Yeah, so that's when Tywin comes and save the day and all that kind of stuff. And my man, little midget, he loses his.
Sir, they're called short people. Or what's the terminology for? It's not midget anymore. You can't say
an
midget.
Imp. Oh, for now? Oh.
No, I forgot.
No, it's not.
It's legally correct. Imp.
Huh.
They call him an imp.
Yeah, they do call him imp.
They call him an imp, but that's what we say now. But yeah.
No.
Man.
Tiara, E-Man, what was y'all's first when y'all first watched it? I know you guys seen it a couple times now, but what's your first thought when you first watched it?
I think I was sobbing, honestly.
You think you were sobbing?
Yeah.
You were crying?
Yeah. Because it reminded me of like a prison fight, like the way they just shanked her in her stomach like that in front of him at the dinner table. That was crazy. That was so crazy. And then just like, I don't know, it was just planned so well. Like, how did you have so many people on guard like that? People dying like left and right. Men are getting killed. Like, and this is a wedding, mind you. Like, someone just got together.
Yep.
So it was devastating.
I was shocked. For one, I killed Rob, and I was, going into it, I was like, okay, Rob still has a shot at, taking out Tyrion. Then he died. Then they killed off his whole army. I was like, dang, the North is gone. I was just so surprised. And then they cut to Arya and the Hound, and I was like, dang, Arya got to see her brother die too, or dead too.
Yeah. And she don't know her mama did.
Yeah.
You know, interestingly enough, I didn't see the part where they rode him on the horse with the wolf head on him until this time. I don't know what do I like just check out at the end of the episode or what, because like I never saw that before and that's messed me up. I thought about it ever since. Like I've been thinking about it a lot.
Yeah.
I can't get it out of my head.
And your sister, like, you've been traveling. Arya's been traveling all this way, and then she's like, she knows her family's in there,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and then that's so crazy.
Just the disrespect. Not only did you kill this man and kill this wolf, but you put the wolf on him with sticks. Like what is that for? He's already dead. He's already dead. Y'all did your job.
So the wild part about that too is they're like the kids talk about like the rumors of Robb Stark. I don't know. I assume it's some type of writing here, but they talk about the rumors of Robb Stark is like he can turn into a wolf. They're like, oh, what do you know about Robb Stark? And then the last thing you see of Robb Stark is him, quote, being a wolf.
Yeah.
So that's pretty crazy. What was I gonna say though? Brandon, you have something you want to say? I had a thought, but it just left.
No, I didn't have anything to say in particular. No.
We're talking about Robb Stark dying. I literally had a thought, and it just Richard Madden. That's what. See, it popped up. So the actor that played Robb Stark, Richard Madden. If you go watch interviews, he was happy that he died. He was so happy to be done with that show and that character of Robb Stark.
Wow.
Okay, I gotta go watch it now because I want to know why.
Yeah, he was there like, what were your thoughts? And he was like, I was ready to be done. So he was good with him dying, like, which is so interesting to me because he was such a good, like, he played such a great role in the show, like Richard, and he hasn't really done much since. I mean, he did Eternals, so he was in Eternals, but I haven't really seen him in too many like movies.
What? Jon Snow was in Eternals too.
Jon Snow was in the Eternals too.
I don't know why I didn't connect that. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Kit Harington. And Kit Harington. So speaking of that, so fun fact. I don't know. I'm sure everybody knew this. I mentioned this last thing, I would think too. But Kit Harington and Ingrid are married in real life.
Yeah.
So what's her name? Sophie. No, Sophie is
Sansa.
Sansa. Yeah, I forget Kit Harington's wife's name. Ingrid. But anyways, so we'll wrap up with B. White's favorite character, which is we touched on Daenerys, didn't we?
On
Or
him?
did we talk about her?
You touched on her in the beginning.
Okay, we'll talk about Daenerys, but I do want to touch on we're wrapping up here. A couple characters, the main characters in the show. So we see Sansa's journey kind of be interesting because she gets married to Tyrion, which I think Tyrion's a great guy, man. Like there's nothing. I don't know. Like what can you hate on Tyrion about? You know what I mean? Like he gets married to Sansa and protects her. Not only does he protect her from Joffrey, but he also is like, I'm not gonna touch you unless you want me to.
Yeah.
Right? In a world where everybody gets raped.
Do whatever the heck you want. Yeah.
Men and women, they all get raped. All of them. He's like, I'll consent. I want you to want me. And so that was interesting. I'll give people time. If anybody wants to touch on that, feel free to. I'm just gonna run through some points. But if anybody wants to comment on Tyrion or Sansa, Joffrey, anything like that, feel free to chime in.
Not on them. Tywin. I feel like Tywin had the best line so far when Joffrey came in the small council and he was talking about, I'm king, and tells them any king that has to remind people that he's a king is no real king.
Exactly. That was so fire.
Then he sends him to bed. I was like, oh,
yeah, man, go to bed. Yeah, I liked. I mean, it just shows you how much power he has and what power really looks like, because he doesn't have to say much. He doesn't have to do much. He doesn't have to sling it around, and he just says something or stands a certain way, looks a certain way, and like he already knows what his power is. And just that line right there, and like, okay, you're the king. If you got to say you're the king, you're not really the king, but but as far as Tyrion, man, Yeah, that was honorable. I'm never gonna hate on Tyrion. I haven't seen anything that makes me hate on Tyrion Lannister at all right now. Like, I love him. He's one of the wittiest characters in there, in my opinion. Like, he's so intelligent. He knows how to use his strengths. He knows what his strengths are. I've said this already in past recap seasons. But for him in that moment, I think it was two things happening there. He doesn't want to, take her. He wants her to want to be with him. But at the same time, I think he knew she doesn't want to, and he doesn't really want her to because of who he wants and who his heart is with. Yes. Yeah, you know what I mean? And he doesn't want to dishonor that, even though he could.
But I think Shay, she just treats him so shitty. Like, he has nothing. Like, there's nothing he could do here. First of all, you 2 seasons ago, you was selling ass on the corner for $2. Now you want to switch up because you in the palace. You know what I mean? Like, she gets mad at him. Like what? Like, it's not his. Like,
that's a woman in love, bro. Like, she don't want to hear no reason. She don't care about no damn reason. She ain't gonna listen to reason, bro.
Crazy.
All she know, you better not be trying to F her. You know me, like, you want to fuck her, blah blah. Like, she just wants to know that you're loyal to me, And he is. That's the thing. She is treating. She give him a little bit too much because he is loyal and that his hands are tied. But from her perspective, she's like, no,
and
you can make a decision.
And he's literally telling her, hey, my dad killed the last person that I loved that wasn't who he wanted me to be with. So it's like he's always going through it. He's going out of his way to protect her from Cersei, from Tywin. And then she I don't want to say she's ungrateful, but it's just like she says the attitude. She has this little sass about her. Like, it's just so interesting to me.
Another interesting part was when Varys tried to give her money to go away. And he said, Tyrion's the one person that can change this country. And I was like, oh, that's interesting. But she turned down the money. She said, I'm going to stay. I was like, damn.
And then blamed Tyrion like he did it. That was all Varys.
Yeah.
I'm like, bro, this man Tyrion did nothing there. But now she's even more pissed. She's like, if you want me to go away, you can, whatever she says. All sassy.
She's a fool in love, dog. She's a fool in love.
Crazy. Wrap it up. Yeah, so Tyrion in the cow, I mean, he's recovering. He's doing his deal. Cersei, same thing. Like, Cersei, it's interesting to see Cersei, like, battle with Marjorie because she sees her power dwindling. Like, Marjorie's rising in power. Cersei's, like, following in power. She's kind of, like, adjusting to that. Not really doing well adjusting to it, but adjusting to, like, her lessened power since Marjorie will be, or I think they get married in season, but will be queen or is queen. I forget the exact what happens at the end of season 3. You see Sansa next to Lady Tyrell. She's like, oh, Sir Joffrey's a monster. So that's pretty interesting there. What else happens too? So that's the capital, right? And then up in the north, God bless him. Up in the north, we see Theon Greyjoy.
Yes, I was waiting for it.
You just get tortured, right? And this is the first time I watched this show. I was so confused because I was like, is this dude helping him escape?
Yep.
And he pretends to.
Yep.
Which is so weird.
It's a sick game, and I love it.
It's a sick game that he loves, yeah. And I'm like you, Tiara. I'm glad he's getting this shit because he fucking betrayed Robb Stark in the North. Like, bruh, you getting what you deserve. But I was blown because I thought old boy was helping him. I was like, okay, he got somebody that's gonna help him out. And I thought, he would come back to his senses and go back to the North and, like, really, because his dad don't give a fuck about him, clearly, you know what I'm saying? So, but he getting what he desered.
Right. And in my opinion. But it's so, like, I understand you trailing Robb Stark. I would rather just, I mean, he says this too. He's like, just kill me, right? But I would rather just somebody murder. Like, I would rather get beheaded, anything besides the stuff that he's having to endure. Like, that is to go through that stuff, to get my penis cut off, bro. And then the man pretend to be eating he's eating a sausage, pretending like, oh, this isn't your
Yeah,
wiener.
that was crazy.
Like, oh my, and like just to be sitting up there, and like he takes your he starts calling you Reek.
Yep.
He takes your name away. Right? He's like, oh, you're not Rob Stark anymore. Or not Rob Stark. You're not Theon Greyjoy anymore. You're Reek. Like, bro, the amount of trauma, bro. No.
Death is mercy.
As much as like
death is mercy.
As much as I realized how much Theon Greyjoy did, like, bro, no, this is too much.
I didn't feel it was too much.
Really?
No.
He deserved it. Nope, he deserved it. I mean, I do think it was a whole lot from a perspective of like, if I'm a man and I'm getting tortured, I'm like, just kill me, bro. Like, you cut my stuff off. What I got to live for? You know what I mean? So it's like, it's a lot from that perspective, but I'm glad he's getting it because he should have. He's a traitor. I'm glad he's getting it. Cut his toes off, cut his feet off, cut his penis off, cut his tongue out. Do it all.
He took his nails off. He didn't cut his feet off.
I know. I'm just saying it.
Yeah, he's breaking this man down, which is crazy.
Absolutely.
So that's Theon Greyjoy. That's kind of like just him entire. That's anyways. Ramsay will play a part season 4. That's all I'll say.
Yeah.
But yeah, so we found out that Ramsay Bolton, he's Roos's bastard son. So you found that out too. And then, lastly, Daenerys, right? So we see Daenerys be a bad bitch and just take over. She takes Unsullied Army. She kills the guy, which that was such a dumb mistake on his part. Yeah. Like, the guy gives her the keys to the army, or the little baton, and thinks this dragon is going to listen to her. And she literally just like, Dracarys. And it's like, I don't know what the guy was thinking. Like, one of the worst trades in the history of trades ever.
But apparently the dragons have value, and he thought he could train them, I guess. But he was pompous as hell. He was so freaking arrogant. Like, he thought he could do anything. Like, all the stuff he was saying about her, thinking she didn't know. That's, oh my God, when she started speaking his language, I was like, what? I was like, wow, this whole time. She didn't need no translation. She knew all the dirty shit you was saying about her. And fuck you. She's like, the cars, light his ass up. That was so fire to me. Like, fire, pun intended, too. So.
I thought that was like that dumb trade. Like, you're gonna give the guy a dragon, but after she burned him, I was like, all right, cool. This is a good decision right here. But yeah, that was a satisfying death in the season.
Yeah.
So how did I don't remember everything. How did it end with Daenerys? Like, what is going on at the end of the season? I don't remember exactly.
I think she freed another city. I can't remember the name of the city.
I know this is like when we get into like her, she has an army now and she's freeing slaves or whatever. Speaking of that, so this is where it gets good. You know why? You know why it gets good, Brendan? Why you'll respect this? Tierra might not respect it, E-Man might not respect it, but I know Brendan will respect it. This is why season starts. This is where the show gets good, right? They introduced my favorite character in the show, Missandei. The most beautiful woman in this show. Nathalie Emmanuel is the most beautiful woman in this show, bar none.
You're talking about the little
black lady, Missandei, who was a slave that she freed. She was like, give me Missandei as well. The most beautiful woman in the show.
Like, she's a baddie, bar none.
The best looking one, in my opinion. So she's in the show now. I'm tuned in. Right, we're locked in.
Yeah, I can appreciate it. She is a nice one. She's a nice one. She's a nice one, bro.
But yeah, so season 3. Any last comments? Any last thoughts? I kind of share what I thought about season 3. Wasn't my favorite. Like, it's good. Gives context. Gives more info. But outside of like Rob's death, rewatching this, I'm like, there wasn't really much that happened outside of like the end of the war, Rob's death. And then, like, just more build-up. to what's
Rise
happening.
of Daenerys Targaryen, bro. Like her building her army is big thing. I'm telling you, because she about to take over. I know it. I
That's what
know
I'm
it.
saying. Like I'm not saying that that's what happened, but I'm saying like that this season was just filler. I don't want to call it filler because it wasn't just filler, but it was like it was rising action.
Yeah.
It wasn't
Okay.
much like the biggest plot point of something happening was Rob's death.
Right.
Outside of that, it's kind
Yeah.
of just like we're building up, right? So that's kind of how I felt about this season. But what are you guys' thoughts? I know you obviously Brandon White has some thoughts, but everybody else too.
Yeah, same. It's leading to something else, but after they killed Rob, it's like, all right, who's next? Like, what battle is next
Yep.
to come? Well, at least for the throne. And right now, it looks like Daenerys is, she has an army, she has good advisors. I forgot the knight's name that joined her crew.
Sir Barristan.
Sir Barristan, who's supposed to be a great swordsman too. So she has good advisors. She has an army. It looks like she's headed to challenge Tywin for the Iron Throne because he's in charge.
Mm-hmm. For me, it's like this. I agree with you to an extent, Savon, because when you're thinking about like I haven't seen all the other episodes or whatnot, but I mean all the other seasons, so I don't know what's happening, but I can see how this is kind of that rising action to something bigger, and so you have your mini plot line for all the seasons for the whole show. I can see this being that part of that rising action to get you to that climactic moment of the whole Game of Thrones series. So I get that because you're right. That was the biggest thing that happened in this season was Rob getting killed. You know what I mean? But I'm waiting for Daenerys Targaryen to rise up with dragons and all and her army and go freaking rip the Lannisters apart. That's what I'm waiting for. Hopefully it's gonna happen in season 4, but I'm waiting for it.
Dear.
Yeah, I think it didn't really catch my attention to the last few episodes. I mean, yeah, everything's important, but yeah, like you said, just not filler, but build up.
It's okay if it's a filler. If it's a filler season, that's fine.
It's not filler because a lot of stuff happens. I only call it filler because the context of filler is like it's just fluff. It's not needed. It's not filler.
Yeah,
Like
it's a bunch of
there's a lot of stuff that's needed. Like that's talked about. Like
yeah.
Like there's I don't want to foreshadow anything, but there's characters where you see what happens later. It builds like it starts from here. Like I can see certain things breaking down between character relationships where I'm like, that's why they did this because of this. So it's not filler because everything matters, everything connects.
Yeah.
But it's just like there's not like a big moment other than the biggest moment, which is Rob Stark dying. So I wonder if too. That's a good point. I wonder if they had to do such a huge situation like that because the season wasn't that like grandiose. You know what I mean?
That makes sense.
Like I wonder if that's like the reason why is that the show writers like let's have like something so shocking that makes this season memorable. Because otherwise, I feel like it just would have been a meh season.
Mm-hmm.
So, but anyways, that's our review, our recap of season 3 of Game of Thrones. Appreciate you guys that tuned in to the end. Thank you for watching another episode of Coffee and Friends.
Peace out.
See you.